Another mailbag video here today. I want to jump on and answer your guys' questions as free agency is upon us. The Eagles have been pretty quiet, and yet people still have a lot of questions, and so we'll go ahead and answer as many as we can. These all came via our subscribers on the community page here of our channel. We'll start with Noah Perez, who says, according to the media, the Eagles are the top team for Deshaun Watson. Do you think we will really trade for him? No, I don't. The Eagles are not trading for Deshaun Watson. I feel very confident telling you that right now. I know there was the report earlier this week. We talked about it here on the channel about Philadelphia, being interested, and there's a chance Jeffrey Lurie could want to go ahead and do it. But I'll just say it again: the Eagles are not trading for Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is way too expensive, and he's not the kind of player. I mean, he's a great player, right? But he's not the kind of thing that Philadelphia needs to go ahead and dabble in right now. They've already said they're behind Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is way cheaper. He doesn't cost you 3 or 4 first-round draft picks to go ahead and get. Hurts is the guy, and trading for Deshaun Watson is just not going to be a possibility. Plus, let's just be real right now. Deshaun Watson has off-the-field issues, whether they're real or not, whether, whatever goes on with those situations right now. You can Google what's going on with Deshaun Watson. He's had a third accuser come forward, I believe, as early as today. That will all be sorted out, but, the NFL is going to have to go ahead and look into that. That's what the NFL does, and there's a chance he could be suspended. Who really knows? I have no idea and can't even comment on that situation, but that throws a big wrench in Watson's plans to go ahead and get traded anytime soon from the Texans. Teams are going to be very hesitant to go ahead and trade for a guy who has off-the-field issues, whether proven or not, until they find out what the real answer is or what the real case was in that situation. So, no idea what will happen with Deshaun Watson, but right now, I can just tell you, from just a strictly on-the-field standpoint, the Eagles are not going to trade for him. He costs too much, and they're very much all on board for Jalen Hurts, as they should be, and as I've said for a very long time, Hurts should be the guy. They should just go ahead and stick with him. He's on a rookie deal. He showed a lot of promise last year in Philadelphia. You spent a second-round draft pick for him. You trade away Carson Wentz to go ahead and have him your starting quarterback, so stick with him. No chance of Deshaun Watson. What you guys think, though? Pin comment down below. Would you want the Eagles to trade for Deshaun Watson? Is there a bunch of Eagle fans who are just banging on the door for the Eagles to trade for the guy? I'm not saying he's bad. Listen, I think he's a great quarterback. I think he'd make a lot of teams great in the NFL. It's just too expensive and way too much for me to go ahead and do right now. But if you want to trade for him, type Y down below for yes, pin comment. All right, next question here comes from Ramiro Martinez. How do you feel about Nick Sirianni and the new staff? What do you think about the wide receiver position? I feel fine about Nick Sirianni and the new staff. I've talked about that here on the channel. In terms of the wide receiver, they still need another wide receiver, and we've talked about how they got to go ahead and draft somebody. There were reports that Kenny Galladay could have been in the mix, but right now, as of filming this video, the latest report is that Galladay is going to either be a Bengal or a Giant, which would be really bad if he's a Giant because, goodness gracious, he's a great wide receiver. Philadelphia just doesn't have money, and that's the theme of today's videos, right? The Eagles have no money. They can't go out and spend big on Juju Smith-Schuster or Kenny Galladay, at least filming this. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I don't see that happening, and so you look to the draft, and you look to Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith, and you can kind of pick which other one you want. I'm starting to lean a little more towards Jamar Chase, even though they're both very similar players. I just see the film I saw in 2019 and see a guy who was absolutely unguardable by any cornerback in the SEC. I would love Devontae Smith the same. I don't want to go ahead and just poo-poo Devontae Smith. He's a Heisman Trophy winner and a great route runner, and I'd be super happy if he's taken. I just think Chase is a little bit ahead of him, but what do I know, right? It's all up to what the Eagles think in terms of the fit in their organization at the wide receiver spot, but they're going to do something at wide receiver because, as we know, the current wide receiver core that they have is not NFL. It's fine. It's just not top tier in the NFL. And the Eagles haven't had a top tier wide receiver core in a long time, and this is your chance to go ahead and fix that. And so don't see them signing anybody. I think they're 100% going to go ahead and draft somebody, and it'll either be Chase or Devontae Smith. Pick one. I've asked this before, but I'm curious. Pick one right now. Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith. Let me know who you guys would rather have right now down below in the comments section. And while you're down there, we are less than 200 subscribers away from 17,000. Really trying to get to 17,000 by the start of the draft, which will happen. But we'll give you some help here. So go ahead and subscribe. If you're brand new to the channel, we do a ton of great stuff and great content here. So just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It would really help us out. Ashir the King says, how do you feel about Howie not signing or trading for anyone? So you might not have seen, and now's our chance to talk about it. The Eagles have finally made an offseason move. They've made a free agency signing. It's just not anybody to get excited about. So sorry, Andrew Adamas. We're not super pumped about it, but Andrew Adamas is a special team safety. So the breakdown is, again, Philadelphia signed him to a one-year deal. He was an undrafted free agent, and I think he was a Giant first, and then was let go and signed with the Bucks. He was on the championship team last year, and so that's good, some championship game experience, but played the majority of his majority of his time at safety, safety, but special teams. I think he played in like 23 defensive snaps the entire year last year. He had 2 tackles, so this is by no means a big boy like, whoa, they went and got a safety to go ahead and fill the gap that Jalen Mills has. No, this is clearly a depth thing. I think more of Ruby Ford going to the Jaguars, even though he was more of a cornerback, but you see my point. They're adding a DB to go ahead and compete in camp. Not saying Adams can't turn out to be a good NFL player. Plenty of guys who weren't good the first 2 places they went, coming out of UConn, and then of course the Giants and the Bucks, but this is nothing to write home about. And so the real issue and the question saying about, how do you feel about Howie not signing or trading for anyone is, listen, the Eagles are strapped for cash. Yes, they are under the salary cap, and they were able to do that yesterday with the official the official releasing of Jeffrey and Malik Jackson and one of the other moves we talked about here on the channel, but they're strapped for cash. Like, they don't have money to go out and spend on Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay wants, $17 to $20 million a year? They can't afford to go ahead and sign him. The best options they have right now are backup guys who can provide depth and might eventually turn out to be starters, but you don't expect them to. And so when cash is short, you just don't think they're going to have a big free agency. And so now you look to the draft. The draft is where the Eagles get better this year. With 11 draft picks, they have a lot of ammo to go ahead and move up and down in the draft. And the hope is that they can at least nail a couple of them and have good young star players on cheap contracts. And that's how you build winning football teams. Before we keep going, though, Manscaped, of course, is our sponsor for today's video. Go to manscaped.com/chat. for 20% off your order plus free shipping the first time you go ahead and place an order. You pick up something like the Perfect Package, one of the things that I was sent that I absolutely love, the Lawnmower 3.0, right? 8-hour battery life. You can use in the shower. It's got a light for the dark bathrooms that some of us have. And, of course, you can get all the spots that you possibly could think of with this thing. It's got the little cut guard on it as well, which I really, really enjoy. You get the boxers, the travel bag, you get the toner, and the deodorant, all of it at a great price right now. 20% off plus free shipping. Manscaped.com/chat. I get that 20% off and the free shipping. The link is down below right now. Gus Dude Arzenberg, I think I said your last name right. Sorry if I butchered that. Who would Philly take in the first round? What do you think of the current schedule they have for next year? So, I mean, listen, take wide receiver at all costs, right? You don't take a corner and you don't take a tight end at 6. You can take those if you trade back. Let me just make this very, very clear. 6 is for a wide receiver, period. Now, if they trade back to 10, I could listen to linebacker. I would be okay with cornerback, and I wouldn't hate Kyle Pitts, even though I'm still very much against drafting Kyle Pitts. But I wouldn't take any one of those 3 at 6. I'd take Jamar Chase or Devontae Adams at 6, but I would not mind trading back and taking a Micah Parsons or a Patrick Surtain because those would go ahead and fill needs. So, who should they take? It should be a wide receiver at all costs. In terms of the current schedule, they haven't released the official schedule. We know who our opponents right now for the 2021 season, and it's not bad in terms of what you think these teams are going to be, but it's always hard to go ahead and speculate, right? Like, divisional games are going to be tough. The Giants and Washington have had really good offseasons. I mean, the Washington football team, if they've got a quarterback, because I don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick is that guy, they look pretty darn good. And if Saquon Barkley comes back, the Giants can figure out defense. I mean, they can be good as well. And plus, Dallas and Dak were really good before Dak went ahead and got injured. Your home games are the Saints, Bucks, Chiefs, Chargers, and 49ers, and doesn't sound great, but who knows how good the Saints are going to be this year. And I think the 49ers have a little bit of a quarterback question, but those are all really good football teams and will be tough teams to go ahead and beat. All of those teams were playoff teams last year, minus the Chargers, who we think will be a playoff team this year because how good Justin Herbert is. The away games aren't too bad, right? I mean, you get the Falcons, the Panthers, the Raiders, the Broncos, the Lions. That's kind of your saving grace, is all of your home games are against the good teams, and all of your away games are against, I guess, quote-unquote, the bad teams. Maybe Denver's good this year. Who really knows? Or the Raiders could be good this year. I mean, not really sure. Carolina doesn't have a quarterback. Atlanta has a lot of holes. You might get the Jets if it is a 17-game season. That could be away or home, but that's probably an easy win for Philadelphia. It's just... I don't know how to go ahead and break down something like the schedule just yet because we don't even know what the teams are going to look like. But what I will tell you is that it doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't look super easy because you got a lot of tough home games: Saints, Bucks, Chiefs, Chargers, and 49ers. I am curious, though, how many games do you think that they're going to win? It's early, and the roster is still being built. You get a wide receiver, could go a long way. You know how I feel about that. Fill in the blank, though. The Eagles will win how many games in 2021? I think the goal should be 9, right? I mean, I think the simple answer, the goal should be 9. Anything less than 9, you're not winning the division. I mean, I know what last year was, but this year it's a different story. I don't think there's any chance they win more than 11 unless they're somehow super, super good and Jalen Hurts balls out. Maybe he does. I don't know. I mean, listen, they balled out the year Carson Wentz went into his second year, and that was the Super Bowl year. So maybe it's a repeat for Jalen Hurts. We all would have loved that here in Philadelphia. But give me your thoughts on who the Eagles will sign in 2021. Let's go one more. Ace, do we have any confidence in Howie doing the right thing in the draft and getting weapons for Hurts? We don't have a lot of confidence. We don't have a lot of choice. It's as simple as that. Like, am I sitting here going, oh yeah, Howie Roseman, he's going to do great. Like, they're going to nail at least 3 of the 11 first round or 11 picks in this year's draft? No, I don't have a lot of confidence. But I mean, what's the broken clock is right twice a day? Is that what the saying is? And I mean, you sit here and you kind of just shake your head and you say, please, Howie, please draft some people that turn out to be good, because if they do, this team can go a long way. I think it's a very good roster. Now, it's not very good yet, and it has some holes you got to go ahead and plug, but if they plug a couple of these holes, this can be a football team with a really good offensive line, a really good defensive line, and a great running game with great wide receivers. They can add one, can be pretty good next year, and so my confidence isn't great, but I hope they do. And in terms of getting weapons for Hurts, that should be the number one goal, in my opinion. 100%, number one goal. Okay, use the hashtag Eagles down below in the comments section to get in on our next mailbag video. I don't know when that's going to be, but probably sometime next week. So if you have questions that we're not answering in this video, go down below right now in the comments section. Use the hashtag Eagles to jump in and be a part of our next mailbag. Ultimate for today here in Philadelphia Eagles Now. I am Thomas Mott. Hopefully your questions were answered. We'll do plenty more of these in the coming days and weeks for Philadelphia Eagles Now. Thomas Mott, signing off for the rest of your day.